Okay, we have our first October surprise, and it came from Georgia and Herschel Walker.
Oh my God. You want to talk about Republicans that are just going to blindly vote party? He paid for a girlfriend's abortion. And this is a guy who said that his opposition to abortion was from, I'm quoting him, from womb to tomb. So he's denying it. The Republicans have rallied around him. And notably, they don't say necessarily, you'll hear, pay attention, the Republicans don't say it's false, it's a lie. Herschel has said that, but the rest of them aren't necessarily saying that. They're saying, this is a ploy, this is a distraction. But none of them are saying, it's untrue, it didn't happen, because they all know that it happened. And then that was followed up by his son, who shot a video where he just slammed Herschel Walker.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. Family values people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them.
I don't see how anybody could vote for Herschel Walker. He seems to me to be the biggest soft head in politics right now. You press your thumb up against the side of his head, you pull it away, you can see the thumbprint left there behind. I don't get it at all. Now I'm done.
Okay, that was fantastic. It's not much that I can do with that, except to tell you that I had to write mine down. It was so much stuff about Herschel Walker. And so here's my list about Herschel Walker. He held a gun to his wife's head, which he didn't deny. He said that it was mental illness, and he's been treated for that. About the abortion, which he said no abortions, no rape, incest, or the life of the mother. None of that was going to be, there's nothing, no abortion, period, end of story. After he paid for one, just saying. Children that he never even recognized until now, okay? And so then, remember that he said that he was in the military. He also said he finished school, all of these things, and they're all lies. For every Republican who stands up and says that they are with Herschel Walker, this is the kind of ad that you need to say, let me get this straight. This is a guy who on multiple occasions held a gun to his wife's head. You're okay with that? And that he's talked about mental illness, but he's not talking about mental illness in his campaign. He's not talking about helping people and providing support. But what he wants to do is take away people's right to make choices for them that in many cases is life or death. And this is who you want to go with. Georgia, this is what you want. And anybody who is of color, and specifically Black people, please don't let the world think that we support or back anyone who is this much of a liar, who is that violent and cruel, and most of all, the thumbprint thing. I'm just saying.
You nailed it. He has no obligation to anyone. This is a man who will not be obligated to the voters. He will not be obligated to the constituents because he is not even obligated to his own flesh and blood. He will sell you out for the right price without thinking twice.
Why is this election even close? Why isn't he just double digits behind? And so if people in Georgia feel that strongly about Herschel Walker and the Republican Party, who has told you that they are filled with white supremacists, that they support Donald Trump no matter what, why would you want these people in the government dictating what we do and what we don't do?
Donald Trump said, when you're like him, you can do whatever you want. 2016, you can grab them by the, and people voted for that. So we know that those same people aren't going to be deterred by any of this, right? The hypocrisy that drives us crazy doesn't affect them at all.
I agree. But if Herschel Walker becomes the next senator from Georgia, I'm going to give up on that state for a while. I think I'm just going to tiptoe backwards out of supporting Georgia because that's an inexcusable, irresponsible, malicious, selfish vote.
Gary, that's an ad. We need to figure that out. Anyone who votes for Herschel Walker, it is a malicious, selfish, inexcusable vote. That's
well,
good.
Herschel Walker makes Sarah Palin look like Eisenhower. I mean, if you thought Sarah Palin was bad, compare her to this guy. She seems perfectly reasonable. That's all.
I can't argue with that.